Hello everyone. So now our topic is about the coral bleaching. So we will see a very details about the corals and then we'll come back to the coral bleaching as well. So let me share my screen. Yeah. So this is the context. Recently, a few days back or even 1 month back approximately, there was a coral bleaching event across the North American continent, which was reported by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, which related to the USA, right? So this is the context that why we are taking this context. Now, let's start from very basic level, right? What is coral reefs? So this is important. They are marine underwater ecosystems. You all know very basic thing, but I'll tell you some few important things which are relevant for our exam a little bit more detail, which where you may not be clear how they are formed and all, right? So these are underwater core marine ecosystems which were formed through the skeletals of various marine invertebrates, right? Which are having the bones and all. So based on these accumulations, they form, right? So these are called as corals and they are composed of each of the coral polyp. They are made up of calcium carbonate, a bulk. You can see in this diagram, these are made of individual coral polyp. So a single bunch is called as a coral polyp. And together, if all these coral polyps comes together and attach, it leads to the coral reefs, right? So they are formed through the calcium carbonate. Fine. Now, there are few more important things that you need to know. There is a coral polyp. Inside that, there is a microorganism called zooxanthella. This is the one which is inside, staying inside the coral polyp. So, for example, this is coral polyp and the inside a small microorganism sleeve that is called as zooxanthella. So, these both are in symbiotic relation. The zooxanthella gives the nutrients to the coral reefs, each of the coral polyp, right? Zooxanthella give nutrients to the coral polyp and coral polyp in terms protect this zooxanthella. So both are in a symbiotic relations. So that's why they sustain for a longer period. But in recent times, their what you call their quality has been degrading because there is a intervention of human activities, right? So I hope this is clear about coral reefs like coral polyp and then zooxanthella inside. Attaching all the coral polyps together leads to the coral reefs, right? So this is the formation of the thing. So you need to know about the role of zooxanthella as well, which provides the nutrients. Fine. Now in the India, we have coral reefs in a few areas only. Unlike mangroves, which are located in almost all the coast, coral reefs are located in certain regions, right? One is Gulf of Kutch. In Gulf of Kambat, we don't have any coral reefs. Because there was a question in UPSC Central Armed Police Forces on one about the coral reefs distributions. Though there may be possibility they will ask you in our exam as well. So Gulf of Kutch, yes, they are found, and in Gulf of Kambat they are absent. And here in Malwan coast as well as some Goa coast, we have coral reefs, Maharashtra and Goa coast. Then in Lakshadweep, Lakshadweep is completely made up of coral reefs itself, right? And then we have Gulf of Mannar and finally in Andaman Nicobar. So these are the five regions where coral reefs are located. Sundarbans is completely absent and no other coastal regions have the coral reefs, right? Only these regions in India have the coral reefs. Fine. Now, if you see about the world level, most of the corals live in the tropical regions because they require the temperatures not above certain level, not below certain level. So only in the tropical and certain parts of temperate regions they are present, right? So this is the world distribution of coral reefs. Now, what are the conditions? Why they are present only in the tropical regions? Because they require temperature of 20 to 30 degrees, which is prevalent continuously throughout the year in the tropical regions. Also, they need shallow seawater, right? Less than 70 meters deep. It should not be deeper waters. If you go inside of the ocean, I mean, if you keep on entering the deeper lengths of coastal, so you will not see the corals. Only at the shallow waters they are found, right? And then clear salt water, it should not have any sediments, right? And they thrive in the seaward side, right? The deep should be 70 meters, but they thrive at the seaward side rather than the landward side. So this is also one important condition. So these are the some important conditions where corals will sustain. Now, what is this coral bleaching? You can see here, this is the situation of the present corals. This is because we have seen that the corals are in symbiotic relation with the zooxanthella. Fine. Now, because of the excess temperatures, the corals does not have capacity to give the habitat to the zooxanthella, right? So first, I mean, they themselves does not have capacity because of the increased temperature. How can they give habitat to the zooxanthella? So the first step that they do is they omit the zooxanthella, right? Because they don't have capacity. So when the zooxanthella come out of this coral polyp, they die, as well as corals also degrade. So their color get very pale. You can see here, from very colorful, habitat to the very degraded, very less degraded quality, right? So the first step is to omit the zooxanthella and then losing of the color, right? And ocean acidification is also affecting the this coral reef quality. So ocean acidification means increasing the pH value, that is the increased CO2 into the ocean water, right? So more acidic water also contributing to the coral bleaching, because if there is more acids, there is an increase in temperature, and of course there is a death of corals, right? So that is about the coral bleaching as well as coral reefs and coral reef distribution across Indian subcontinent, right? Hope this is useful. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.